Hey everyone, and welcome. In any industry that really relies on heavy machinery, think construction, field services, you name it, the sound of a key piece of equipment going silent, well, that's the sound of money just vanishing into thin air. So today, we're going to dive into how you can get ahead of those super costly failures and shift from just reacting to problems to actually controlling them. Just think about that for a second. Seriously. Instead of a critical machine just dying right in the middle of a big job, you get a little heads up, a notification that basically says, hey, I'm going to need a checkup soon. And this isn't some far-off sci-fi concept. It's a real strategic shift that can turn maintenance from a chaotic emergency into a totally predictable, manageable part of your week. Now, to really get why the solution is so powerful, we have to talk about the problem. And for so many businesses, that problem is what we can call the downtime dilemma. It's that frustrating, expensive cycle of only fixing things after they've already broken. Right? So when a machine breaks down, the cost is so much more than just the repair bill. It's a whole domino effect, isn't it? First, all work grinds to a halt. Then, your project timeline's totally shot. Suddenly, you're scrambling to rent replacement gear, maybe paying crews overtime to catch up, and worst of all, you're on the phone explaining delays to a client who is definitely not happy. It's a mess that hits your budget and your reputation hard. This really shows the two completely different worlds of maintenance. Over on one side, you've got the reactive approach. That's all about fighting fires. You're constantly dealing with surprise downtime, crazy emergency costs, and one delay after another. But on the other side, you have the proactive approach. And this is all about fire prevention. It means scheduled service, budgets you can actually control, and that holy grail for any operation, just consistent, reliable uptime. So the big question is, how do you make that jump from all that reactive chaos over to proactive control? Well, it all starts with a change in mindset, really. It's about deciding to treat maintenance not as an emergency response, but as a key piece of your entire operational strategy. At its heart, proactive maintenance is all about using data. You're not just guessing when a machine might need service. No, you're actually tracking its usage, whether that's hours or miles or just a date on the calendar, and you're scheduling the work before a little issue has a chance to turn into a complete catastrophe. It's all about prevention, plain and simple. Okay, that all sounds great in theory, right? But how do you actually do it without creating a giant mountain of paperwork and spreadsheets to track? Well, this is where technology, thankfully, steps in. A tool like EZO, for example, can automate this whole process, making this proactive approach something that's actually practical for any team, big or small. So let's just walk through how this actually works. It's pretty straightforward. First, you set the rules for your gear. You might say, okay, this truck needs an oil change every 5,000 miles, or this generator needs a tune-up every 200 hours of use. You just set that rule one time, and from then on, the system does all the heavy lifting for you. It automatically shoots out an alert when that milestone is getting close. Your team gets the heads up, they do the service on schedule, and that's it. Nothing ever gets missed. Now, automation is one huge piece of the puzzle, but the other is centralizing all of your information, giving you one single place to look, a source of truth for your entire fleet of assets. You can really see the massive difference here. I mean, the old way probably sounds familiar to a lot of you, juggling a bunch of different spreadsheets, trying to read handwritten logs, and basically making huge decisions based on, well, guesswork. But with a centralized platform, every single service record, every issue log, it's all digitized and right there in one place. You go from guessing to making really sharp, data-driven decisions about your most important assets. And having all that data in one place gives you this incredible real-time visibility. So let's say you're a project manager for a day. With just a quick glance, you can see exactly which machines are ready to work, which ones are in the shop for maintenance, and which ones are due for service soon. And what does that mean? It means you can plan your projects with total confidence because you know you're not going to accidentally send a piece of equipment out to a job site that's about to break down. So let's bring this all home. We have to connect all of this back to what really matters for the business. All these features, the automated alerts, the centralized data, the real-time visibility, they're all working towards one main goal, maximizing your uptime. And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? The entire point is to stay ahead of equipment issues and keep projects moving forward without unexpected disruptions. That's the real win, keeping your operations running smoothly and predictably so you can tell a client you'll hit a deadline and actually do it. So we'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. When you really stop and factor in all those hidden costs, the project delays, the last-minute rentals, the damage to your reputation, is that old wait until it breaks strategy really the cheapest way to go? Or is it maybe time to start thinking about a more proactive path?